Hey guys, Dave Jr. with Wellbuilt Equipment. Don't forget to check us out on the web, wellbuiltequipment.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook at Aerial Lift Repairs, and comment in the comments section down below. Today I'm coming to you from the side of our shop to show you yet another addition to our spider lift fleet that is ever growing here at Wellbuilt Equipment. This is the Spimerica TZX 550 from Palazzani. This machine has all aluminum upper boom arms, comes in at just 4,400 pounds. It's the lightest machine in its class. 55 foot of working height, 25.5 feet of side reach with a stout 440 pounds in the basket. Outriggers set up, the machine's 10.5 feet by 11 foot. They're single position outriggers, super simple to operate, automatic leveling. This machine that we have here comes with a wired remote. The machine is available with a wireless remote as well. Runs all the aerial lift functions, drives the machine, operates your automatic leveling and your manual leveling from the remote itself. So let's go ahead and show you how this thing works, and then we'll hop in the basket. Alright, so now we're down at the base of the machine. We're going to show you guys how the lower controls operate. Again, this is the wired remote. There is an option for a wireless remote. Makes it pretty much the same as the TZX 730. So pretty simple to operate. This is your on-off key for the ignition, emergency stop, fuel gauge, and then the 3-position key selector is for basket functions and also running the aerials down below for your track drive and then for the outriggers. On the wired remote here, you can see we have a nice long cord, plugs in right there. Everything's nice and attached. Emergency stop, you can stop and start the engine from the remote. 4 levers for automatic leveling or manual leveling of the machine, and then 2 proportional joysticks for running the track drive. You can also run aerial functions from this machine at the ground if needed, or up in the platform. So first thing we're going to do, of course, we want the remote connected, and we're going to go ahead and start the machine. Give it a second to turn on, let the computer fire up. You can see we're driving right away, so again, it's proportional controls, so the more you push those joysticks, you're barely going to move compared to full speed. I'll go ahead and pull it back. Track drive selector right here. You have your snail or your rabbit if you got to creep through a gate. And then for your outriggers, you have manual and automatic leveling. So I'll just show you how the auto leveling works. First thing you're going to do is switch the key for the 3-position selector over to the outrigger side. All the way to the right. And then we're going to go ahead and run the outriggers down. Alright, so now the machine is level. We are ready to climb up into the basket and go to work. You can see it's a little bit up in the air right now. If we want to at this point, we can use the ground controls on the remote to raise the boom arm up slightly and then extend it down to the ground, or you can climb on the outrigger and hop up into the basket. Alright, so we are all harnessed up and we're ready to hop up in the machine. Make sure that the key is in the on position. You're going to switch the 3-position selector all the way to the left for aerial functions. On the side of the turret, turn the key from the base of the machine controls over to the basket controls, and then climb on in. Alright, so now we're up in the basket. Don't forget to secure your lanyard to the lanyard anchorage point, located right next to the bright yellow tag at the mid-rail. In order to operate any functions, you have to depress the foot pedal on the machine, but you don't want to depress the foot pedal while you're starting it. So we have all of our keys switched over. I'm going to pop up the emergency stop. And then we'll wait for the computer to start up. And once you start the machine, place your foot on the foot pedal. All of your controls are active and ready to go. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to show you guys how cool the auto centering feature is on this machine. This is called the Go Home button. Once you push this green button right here while your foot's on the foot pedal, it's going to bring your machine all the way to the stowed position with one finger. So I'm just going to show you how that works here. You hear the engine rev up, and we're going to rotate back over. It's a little slower than doing it manually, but it does ensure that everything is right back where you need it for transport. And you can see it's lowering the primary, and then it'll lower the secondary on its own down into the cradle as well. All right, it's time to take this bad boy for a spin. This first thing, we're going to start the machine up, then wait for the computer to turn on. Depress the foot pedal, and let's raise the first arm. The controls on the Spimerica machines are fully proportional. So you have individual joysticks for each function. If you do want to run two functions at once, you can. Just keep in mind that you're going to lose that function speed. So you can see I'm raising the upper boom arm there. If I put in the addition of raising the lower boom arm, both of them are going to slow down to almost a crawl on the one. So your ideal scenario, if you want the most outreach, is to raise the lower boom arm up and then not extend it. The same joystick that raises up the lower boom arm is going to be the same joystick that extends the lower boom arm. It'll start extending automatically once it reaches the vertical position. There's a green indicator light above the joysticks that shows when you're switching between the functions of the lower boom arm moving up and down and then extending. So at this height here, if I extend out, this is going to be my maximum side reach point. The further that I go up with that lower boom arm, because of the back set angle of it, we're going to get further away from whatever the object is we're trying to approach. So I'll just show you guys the side reach here. So with 440 pounds in the basket, the TZX 550 gets a full 25.5 feet of side reach measured from the center of the turntable. And then as you raise up that lower boom, you're going to lose that side reach. So you get more up and over clearance, but less side reach the further you go up. So you can see as the lower boom arm extends because of that back set, this is where you're going to lose a little bit of side reach because now the pivot point of the upper boom arm is further away from your work area. Show you guys the rotate speed. Pretty fast, and the biggest thing you can see, I'm going to go ahead and jump up and down a little. This thing's super stable. I'm about 250 pounds. The TZX series from Spimerica is by far the most stable spider lift in the industry. That's because the boom arms on this thing are just rock solid. Let's go ahead and raise it all the way up. While we're going up, we'll explain the difference between what your working height is and your platform height on a machine. In the US, most machines that are used in the construction height, and that's the model designation on the side of the machine. In Europe, it's common that the working height is established as the model number. So a 55-foot machine from any company is going to be 55 feet minus 2 meters, or about 6.5 feet, and that gets you what your platform height is if you're trying to convert it over to the US standard. And here you can see I'm at maximum height. I'll wave down to Herman hiding behind the camera. Now once you're up, this goes back to that single button operation. I can just push one button and you see my hands are free, and the machine's going to go ahead and rotate itself back down and lower every section and bring me back to the home position. Now the big difference you'll notice is it's running one function at a time, and it's pretty slow. I like to speed that up. So when you're retracting, both boom arms will retract at almost full speed if you operate them at the same time, and that gets you down to the ground the fastest. So you can see right now, upper and lower boom arm are both retracting, and again, once that lower boom arm gets all the way in, it's going to automatically switch over to lowering. So I'm still running the functions myself right now, 2 at once. Whenever you do turntable rotate, because it's the path of least resistance, that's where the majority of your oil flow is going to go. TZX series is pretty zippy. It gets you up and over just about as fast as any other machine out there. We really like it. It's great for construction. Our house painters love this machine. Lots of tree guys use them for pruning. Window cleaning, power washing. Our electricians are using them inside of buildings, gymnasiums, auditoriums. It's really just a great product. And because it's so lightweight, if you are working inside a school or an auditorium where they have old wood floors and everything's tongue and groove, you still might want to lay down plywood so you don't risk breaking any of the joints. But the low impact of the tracks and the lightweight of this machine make it a lot better and a little easier on all the surfaces that you're driving it across. Whether that's an expensive tile floor in an entryway, a wood floor in a gymnasium, maybe a wood floor up on a stage if there's an orchestra pit underneath it and you have floor loading specifications you're trying to stay under. So right now we're using the home feature again, just using that one single finger control. Now we're all the way down, the machine's going to stop. I always like to lower that upper boom arm just a little bit more to make sure it's fully stowed. Last thing I want it to do is pop up out of there while I'm driving and then have to use the emergency controls. So let's go ahead and hop out of the basket, detach my lanyard. Then we'll switch the controls back over to the lower turret. Move the 3 position selector back to outriggers, and raise the outriggers up. And once the outriggers are up off the ground, then you can change over to drive, and you can drive it wherever you need to reposition. You don't have to fully raise the outriggers in order to move the machine. So just going to drive it back and forth so you guys can see just how fast the TZX series is. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to stow the machine for transport. So we'll turn it back on. change the 3-position selector over to the outrigger position. And then with the automatic leveling, we're just going to hold one switch, raise the outriggers up until they're fully stowed. You can turn off the engine from the wired or wireless remote. Remove your keys, push in the emergency stop, and if you're transporting the machine and you have a wired remote, don't forget to disconnect it. Alright guys, thanks for checking out our video about the Spimerica TZX 550 from Palazzani Industries. Don't forget to check us out on the web at wellbuiltequipment.com, on Facebook at Area Lift Repairs, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and comment in the comments section down below. Have a good one.